west entrance to Idlib city center. It holds a university, a football stadium, a national park, and has been victim to yet another airstrike. The scene set behind me is complete destruction. This is a city that currently hosts at least 1 million people. Looking at the destruction, rubble, concrete material falling from the buildings in the surroundings has destroyed this car. It's destroyed the environment, the living structures. Most of the people here, of course, are still in panic because the fighter jets are back on their way. They left for a moment, drones took to the skies, and they're coming back, and people are trying to evacuate and clear this out as best as possible. But what makes this so much of an issue is this is not the first attack in these parts of the city today. We've been to Marat al-Numan, we've been to Sarmin, we've been to Binnish, and dozens of attacks have been carried out in this time frame. And it comes at a time where a ceasefire is supposed to be implemented. It's supposed to take place, or at least start, in the early hours on Sunday. But the Syrian regime has upped its attacks, almost as if mocking the people living in these areas. But the tactic behind these attacks today, or at least recently, is to push the people who have migrated from the south, from Marat al-Numan, where the violence initially started, and most of the violence is taking place. They migrated to parts of Syria like this, the city center. The idea is to push them further up north towards the Turkish border. Now, the Syrian White Helmets are also here to assess the situation. At least 2 people have been killed, and more than a dozen people have been killed as a result of this relentless attack. And just looking at the destruction again, vehicles, buildings, structures, everything completely destroyed. But this comes at a time when Turkey and Russia were discussing options for a ceasefire. The issue was never whether or not this ceasefire would take place, but how long the Syrian regime would stay true to the terms and not violate them. But one of the biggest issues is that Russia is helping them.